All right, I'm recording right now. All right, let's see. So, what's really funny is Cat BF has a bit of nostalgia for Black Eyed Peas, and I do too to some extent. Like it's kind of the same albums. I like Where Is the Love. I like that song, even though it's cheesy as fuck. My Humps is like more annoying each year. I liked it when it came out because I was young, probably. Boom Boom Pow sucks. Most of their music fucking sucks at this point. But we listened to Shut Up recently, and I'm gonna do like a little bit of a criticism retrospective thing, because listening to that fucking song, I don't even know what the music video is like, but like, I have very strong criticisms with this. Also, the aspect ratio. Look at this. Look at what I can do. Hold on. Shut up. So I like the instrumental.
Shut up, just shut up, shut
Not bad. The string did a weird thing there. Wow, did they just like listen to that part in this? Is that in the actual song? Did you hear how that weird fucking edit with the strings like boom, boom, like that? That is that in that? I think that has to be intentional. Because that's kind of on the beat. It's probably intentional. That's just interesting. I never noticed that before. That's not what I'm trying to get into here. Oh God, YouTube fucked this video, didn't they? Oh, no, that was just something weird with my monitor, I guess. Why is the frame rate so weird? Okay, so this is an interesting song because as it goes, you can kind of tell what they were trying to do. And it didn't really work. So Fergie has this weird fucking thing, that part of her voice. This part, listen. Like, she keeps doing it. Remember that national anthem thing? Olivia, play clip. Where she's like, I'll just play it, actually, fuck it. Did she do more than one national anthem shit? NBA? Oh, they're both 5 years ago. There's just different camera angles, I guess. Like, what are you doing with your, what do you think you're doing with your voice there? Like that fucking vocal fry? Like, what are you doing? Like, you're not like Amy Winehouse, okay? Your voice is kind of shit. What's so it's so misguided what she's doing, right? So she does this weird fucking vocal shit that she thinks is cute. And she's doing it every once in a while in like these older songs here. Where she's like, in the still, like there's certain words where she does this like kind of fucking squeaky toy thing. Feelings of the world. And oh yeah, this next line, trying to be a lady. It's so fake and weird. Lady. Crazy. She can't say crazy. She's going, think I'm going crazy. Like it's just so forced and weird, right? So Fergie's got like the weirdest fucking voice. And I guess at this time, just the production elements and like the catchiness of the instrumentals and like the beat, you know, like it's a song that came out at the right time if it wanted to be a hit. will.i.am's production, it worked, right? It worked for the time. I don't love it, but he certainly found success doing it, and it's easy to understand why.
Girl, me and you was just fine. You know, we wine and dine. Did them things that couples do when in love, you know.
Okay. And now that we see that it's two characters and they're trying to do like a narrative song. They're trying to do like an actual narrative musical piece. Now is when you think, or when I thought, listening to this retrospectively, okay, what is the story they're telling? What is the story they're telling now? So if you try to think of it in those terms, you'll realize that they're telling like the most bland, like dumb, fake, uninspired story ever, right? So if I'm listening to like narrative songs, like what's up there? Stan by Eminem. That's an incredible narrative song, right? Even if let's ignore rap for a second. Let's do like something that's purely doing it with melodies. Fucking Gotye, Somebody I Used to Know, right? That has two perspectives, a couple, they're arguing with each other, and you feel more for what they're trying to say as the song goes on, and it's like nuanced, and you hear both of their perspectives, and you understand the pain that they're going through, and you hear it in a way that feels genuine, and you feel as though the songwriters went through something like that. Whereas this, like, sure, everybody's been through a fucking breakup, but for this writing to be your interpretation of that, for this to be your takeaway of like, I'm going to recreate two heterosexual people arguing with each other that are presumably in a relationship, and I'm going to put that in musical form, for this to be the result of that, lyrically especially, is just fucking cringe. Let's listen to what the fuck they're trying to do here.
Walks on the beach and stuff, you know, things that lovers say and do. I love you, boo. I love you too. I miss you a lot. I miss you even more. That's why I flew you out when we was on tour.
So they liked walking on the beach. They said, I love you and I miss you. And he flew them while he was on tour. So far, this is the most fucking simple, vapid, like, unspecial relationship. And if will.i.am wrote these lyrics, it makes me question whether or not he's like capable of like actual love with another human being, or if he's just having one of those like every song is written for me moments. Well, I don't know. It might just be he's a bad songwriter, you know. But if this is like a true reflection of himself, you know.
But then something got out of hand. You start yelling when I would break plans.
You started yelling what?
But then something got out of hand. You start yelling when I would break plans.
When I would make plans?
Even though I had legitimate reasons. You know I have to make them dividends. How could you?
She was mad that he was making plans. She's like, you can't make plans. I had legitimate reasons to make those plans.
So private eyes, girl. That's why you don't believe my lies and quick to say, shut up, just shut up, shut up, shut it up, just shut up, shut up.
We try to take it.
And then we're back to the chorus, and all we learned is like, they liked each other, and then he tried to make plans, and she was like, you can't make plans. He's like, I have legitimate reasons to make those plans. It's like, fuck, you're not saying anything interesting. This is like the least interesting relationship that you could possibly fucking capture. There was a fucking, you know what song had like a really good relationship dynamic? I mean, it was technically two songs if you wanted to hear the other side. Here's an interesting one. There was a song, I actually love this fucking song. It's a one-hit wonder. The guy's name was Eamon, and it at the time of release, it held the record for most swear words on a top 40 song. Maybe it reached number 1. I don't know. I'm gonna assume that this official release is like, yeah, that's a censored version, very obviously. This guy looks like such a fuckboy too. Fuck you, you hoe. I don't want you back. At least there's like some emotion there, you know? Sure, both instrumentals have emotion to them. I don't know who wrote the fucking instrumentals. I don't know if they just sampled them and came across like a lucky kind of like, oh, this one's like emotional sort of thing, right? But at least in the Eamon song, who's a one-hit fucking wonder, he decided like, hey, I'm actually upset. I'm going to use swear words, right? Even if in the actual verses of the songs, even if that at that point it's not necessarily like, oh, genius lyricism or anything like that, there's something that comes from just feeling so unfiltered about how you're presenting yourself. You're like, no, fuck you, you're a hoe, right? Like, and while maintaining like this sort of like string heavy, pop beat, slower kind of like emotional thing. It adds something to it. It's interesting, right? But this, and what's weird about like the emotion in this instrumental is like, okay, their strings are there. It's got like kind of like a catchy kind of like upbeat, but it's like it's communicating a bit more anger, I guess, than like betrayal. When essentially, like, I don't know, they're both like breakup songs, I guess. She's still doing that weird fucking thing with her voice.
Why does emotion gotta move so fast? Love is progress if you could make it last.
And then, because they're the Black Eyed Peas at this point in time, and they have to figure out what the other two members that nobody remembers their names are gonna do, I guess this guy's just in here, and it's like, okay, what are you narratively?
Why is it that you just lose control every time you agree on taking it slow? Why does it have to be so?
Is he her conscience?
Damn, cause fools and lust could never get enough of love. Showing the love that you be given, changing up your living for a loving transition.
Is the inside of their car made of money?
Transition. Girl, it's a mission trying to get you to listen. Humanity, each other has become our tradition. You yell, I yell, everybody yells. God, they.
Come on, the lyrics. You yell, I yell, everybody yells. That's the lamest fucking like. The most simple. If you're tasked with writing a song called "Shut Up," and you're like, okay, now we need a verse of your character, and they're also talking about like they're talking to the girl character about like her relationship troubles. Like, they didn't write anything specific enough. They didn't write any like actual compelling aspect to this narrative. So all you're left with is you yell, I yell, everybody yell. Fuck, that's so lame.
Changing up your living for a loving transition. Girl, it's a mission trying to get you to listen. Humanity, each other has become our tradition. You yell, I yell, everybody yells. Got neighbors across the street saying, who the hell, what the hell's going down? Too much.
They're so cheesy. They're one of the cheesiest fucking bands ever.
Bickering killer with the sound and
Shut up, just shut up, shut up, shut it up, just shut up, shut up. We try to take
And then we're back into the fucking chorus already. It's like, what have we learned?
your lady.
Did she just grab her crotch? That's pretty good. Yeah, who's this? This guy looks familiar.
crazy.
The backup vocals, crazy fool. Like, look at his eyes. What are you trying to communicate? It's so soulless in terms of like concept or relatability. You know?
Crazy.
What the fuck are you doing?
Wanna be your
I like how she says the word lady and she makes an hourglass, half hourglass with her hand. She's like, this is what a lady is.
I'll be your lady.
I'm trying to be a big fuck toy.
Think I'm going crazy.
The hand movements for I think I'm going crazy, like, oh, I'm going crazy. Like the dance choreography is fucking lame. It's like the most obvious shit you can think of for every single thing. That's essentially what the Black Eyed Peas are and what this song is in terms of like it's a microcosm, you know? It's a synecdoche. I don't know, like what are we gonna call it? It's encapsulating like this entire method of producing art where you're like, oh, I have an idea, and then you like it's like fucking 12-year-olds wrote it, and you just come up with the most basic shit for like every single thing you're trying to communicate. This is literally like if a 12-year-old choreographed this song, trying to be a lady. You make an hourglass. Oh, I'm going crazy. I'm going to put my hands up to my head. Like, it's not even an interesting dance move. You're just fucking, you're like pantomiming.
Girl, our love is dying. Why did you stop trying?
Why? I don't even know why you're mad at each other. Like, that's the whole fucking song. Because you took trips? That's about as far as we understand. You took trips?
I never been a quitter, but I do deserve better.
Now they're just mad at each other and we don't know why. They're just reaffirming that they're still mad at each other, and that's all that's happening right now.
Believe me, I will do bad. Let's forget the bad. Start this new plan.
Why? 'Cause it's the same old routine, and then next week I hear them scream.
Sorry, I'm gonna try and like soak in what the fuck they're talking about
Did
here.
you stop trying?
I never been a quitter.
Also, people doing backflips is just kind of funny. He's like walking down the stage. Oh my god! It's the fucking the guy. Fuck, what is that fucking stencil called? I don't remember. I learned about it in Exit Through the Gift Shop.
Stop trying.
It's not Banksy, but it's someone he's associated with.
I never
Obey, yeah. But that's yeah.
been a quitter, but I do deserve better.
I've never been a quitter, but I do deserve better. Like the vocabulary. I get it. You're making pop music. You don't want to include like super anti-disestablishmentarianism or anything. Like you don't want to use words people can't easily like imitate or replicate. But you could still be a bit more like soulful. You could still be a bit more like creative about it.
Believe me, I will do bad. Let's forget the
What do you say? Believe me, I will do better?
bad. Let's
Be. He missing a syllable.
believe me, I will do bad. Let's forget the bad. Start this new plan.
Let's forget. I need to look up this lyric. All right. Shut up, Black Eyed Peas. Lyrics. Believe me, I will do better. Let's forget the past and start this new plan. That's what he said?
Let's start this new plan. Let's forget the will do bad. Let's forget the bad. Start this new plan.
Without the fucking... No fucking way in hell without me looking at... This is a real county out. This is a real... What was it? A monarch who ignores tradition. You can't... If you're right... Okay, so this contradicts what I was saying earlier about like, oh yeah, you want to have like simple words so that people can like sing along. If you're going to enunciate like that... we're like not... This isn't even a cultural thing anymore. Like, no one could fucking understand what the hell you were saying. People have to look up the lyrics regardless of race, right?
Do bad. Let's forget the bad. Start this.
Let's forget the plan. What's the lyric again? Let's forget the past and start this new plan. Okay, I'm going to listen to that one more time. Let's see if anybody could have ever figured that out ever.
Let's forget the bad. Start this new plan.
Let's forget the past and start this new plan. And it's not like you writing it in that way rhythmically would mean that you can't pronounce it in a way that's a bit more like intelligible. It's not like that has to be the case where it has to be like that unintelligible. It's like he ran out of air on that take and they just kept it. It's like he was at the end of a fucking verse. He ran out of air. He barely could force anything out of his lungs at the end of that. And they're like, no, why would we do more than one take?
Believe me, I will do bad. Let's forget the bad, start this new plan.
It sounds like he's out of breath. That's crazy. Let's forget the brand, start this new brand.
Why? 'Cause it's the same old routine, and then next week I hear them scream.
Why? Because it's the same old routine, and then next week I hear them scream. Who's them? Do you have like children? Are you talking about babies? Who's them? You? Are you talking about them in the third person? What are you talking about? Like, it doesn't paint like a picture. It doesn't paint a fucking picture, right? Whereas like, I'll just make sure that we hear this a bit just for context. Oh my God, 2 billion views. I fucking love this song. And everybody keeps memeing on Gotye, like, oh, whatever happened to Gotye? It's like he's somebody you used to know. Fucking listen to the whole album, you dipshits. It's a good album. Can you, just because you haven't heard it on the radio doesn't mean that you like can't ever be exposed to it. He's not a one-hit wonder in my eyes. He's got a bunch of fucking great tracks. The entire album's good. Listen to the fucking album. It's fucking great. State of the Art? State of the Art's a fucking banger. That's a song that's even better than this. And it's on the same album, and people act like, oh, you only had one good song. Because nobody knows how to experience art that's outside their fucking peripheral. Like, it's just that, tunnel vision, like, oh, blinders. Nobody can take blinders off for people, which is why critics exist and people, look for these recommendations. I guess not everybody has the time to be, searching up this shit. But like that's so obviously right there. Like that song was like a cultural phenomenon sort of thing. Like that was everywhere. Like everybody was fucking singing it, right? It's a karaoke song still. I sing it at karaoke. And then nobody checked out the rest of the tracks on the album. This is a fucking banger. Listen to the instrumentals here. If you play this song to somebody, they wouldn't even know it's fucking Gotye. It's a very versatile, very, very fucking well-made album. Oh, I love this fucking track. Over 5 minutes long? Beautiful. Fucking banger. I love this song.
I put the G-Bass on, so my left hand can play the choir, with 16-foot diapase on, and Larry's patented orchestral symphonized.
I'm gonna see if I can get one of the good parts. I like that. Oh, here we go. I like this part of the instrumental. Wait, hold on. Let's do the chorus.
Like use of a computer.
All right, that's enough to get you interested, all right? Didn't play the whole song, still fair use. I'm using it for comparison, the arguments I'm making. When you listen to a track like this and compared to fucking Black Eyed Peas' Shut Up, like, you feel what these characters are talking about. You feel like it's from real life experiences, right?
Could not make sense. Well, you said that we would still be friends.
And he's not using any like complicated vocabulary either. he's like, could not make sense, still be friends. Like, they're simple words to rhyme, which is part of why the song was so successful and so universally appealing, is because people could fucking relate to it and it was catchy.
But I'll admit that I was glad it was over.
You feel like you get a window into someone's life with this track. That's what I like about art. I know not everybody is making art for those reasons, but that's what art is to me, you know? Like, you feel, it's not just I'm mad. You understand why he's mad. You understand the context of why he's upset. You understand, like, what particular ways she's treating him to make him feel emotional. And then we get her side of the story. And it's not even that long of a song. It's not even like it's not an epic. It's not a whole fucking musical. It's just one track, right? And you still feel as though she has like a legitimate perspective to share. Because there are so many breakup songs that just have one perspective, right? There's so many breakup songs that have one perspective. And and a lot of these breakup songs where they'd be like, ooh, we're doing the two perspectives things, a lot of them feel illegitimate because no one wants to share their own experience because they don't want to feel as though the other person that they had emotional troubles with had any legitimate reasons themselves. Everybody always feels on the right about this shit. So he's showing like a special kind of like emotional and intellectual like vulnerability when he's presenting his track this way, where you can tell that his perspective of the song is something that he clearly went through or has some experience with, and yet he's willing to say that the other person that he had this sort of tribulations with has their own side of the story and has a voice that can be heard, right? I think it's really cool. She barely has any lines, and yet you still feel as though her presence is legitimate. Love this song. All right. Back to this shit.
Girl, I know you're tired of the thing to say.
What are they arguing about? Like, what are they even arguing about? Like, we don't. You have fucking 4.5 minutes to paint a picture here, and it's not. And I'm like, I hate this. I can already hear some people being like, "Oh, you don't understand. It's like pop music. It can't be intellectually stimulating at all. You can't get a picture about people's relationships. You can't write a good narrative and have it popular." Like the same fucking people that are willing to excuse the Mario movie, like different genre, obviously, but just like you can't have any like things can't be good and accessible. You don't know what you're talking about. Things can be great and accessible. That's some of the best art ever made. You know, Gote, obviously accessible. Different genre, but you can still have something that means something.
Girl, I know you're tired of the thing to say. You're damn right.
What are you saying? Hold on. Girl, I know you're tired of the things I say. You're damn right. Because I heard them lame. Okay. It sounds like she says lame dame, but the official lyrics are lame damn. Lame damn excuses.
You're damn right, 'cause I heard them lame damn excuses just
Lame damn. I couldn't imagine if I was sitting there with a pen and a fucking paper writing this track and I came across that lyric, couldn't imagine not turning it into... I couldn't imagine... not turning it into damn lame, not lame damn. Lame damn excuse. Like that just feels like an effort to say that, you know?
damn right, 'cause I heard them lame damn excuses just yesterday.
Lame damn. I love, this should be a gif of just will.i.am tucking his tie in.
Damn right, 'cause I heard them lame
Like, what are you doing? This is like this is like a Tim and Eric set. This is the best shot. Like, this shot is like the best part about this music video.
'cause I heard them lame damn excuses just yesterday.
Can somebody gif that shot and use it ironically, just like me and the boys when I do blank or something? Like, that's a really, really fucking good gif.
You're damn right, 'cause I heard them lame damn excuses
Like,
just yesterday.
like somebody can make a relatable Reddit statement on that, right?
'Cause I heard them lame damn excuses just yesterday.
The way he fixes his shirt too. I'm sorry.
'Cause I heard them lame damn excuses just yesterday.
Yeah. Damn sounds normal now. The first time I heard it, it sounded like Dame. But, yeah.
That was a different thing.
No, it ain't.
That was a different thing.
No, it ain't.
That was a different thing.
You have a back and forth. You have multiple artists. You have multiple artists in your group. You have an emotional string section being looped or sampled, right? What are you fucking talking about? You have every excuse and reason and opportunity to be saying something here. That was a different thing.
It's just yesterday.
That was a different thing.
No, it ain't.
That was a different thing.
No, it ain't.
No, it ain't. That was a different thing. No, it ain't. You might as well just saying yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Like, who cares? You're not saying anything. Holy shit. So I have strong feelings about this song because when Cat BF played it fucking a week and a half ago, and I was actually listening to it, it felt like for the first time, even though it's from my childhood, I was listening to it with a critical ear and just thinking about what fucking wasted potential this is. Having other tracks in my head where you can create a sort of story, like characters, like musical theater, like something with a fucking point where you feel what exists for these characters, and it's not like you just bullshitted something out because you were asked to write an assignment from a fucking teacher when you're 12. That's what it fucking feels like.
That was a different thing.
It was the same damn thing. Same ass excuses. Boy, you useless. Whoa.
Like, what are you even arguing about? What are you even talking about? Like, this is so frustrating. Wow! She turned into Luigi. Waluigi, I mean.
Different thing.
It was the same damn thing. Same ass excuses. Boy, you useless. Whoa.
It's just in general, there are excuses being made. And it's like, I understand that there's a point being made by this type of artist, especially will.i.am, where he wants it to be as relatable as possible in the sort of like lowest common denominator sense, where he thinks that if it's like the dumbest thing in the fucking world, then that means like everybody will relate to it. But it just, it makes it so unrelatable at this point. You know, like, sure, it worked. I'm not going to tell him it didn't make money. I'm not going to tell him it wasn't a fucking banger in 2002. Did I get that right? I wonder.
Shut up, just shut up.
2004? 2003, I was close.
Shut up,
Just stop.
shut up, just shut up. Shut up.
If you're telling the truth in the comments.
Shut up, just shut up. Shut up, just shut up. Shut up, just shut up. Don't go now, please go.
Sorry. Oh, did the lyrics not say what she's saying right there? Anyway, I'm sure we can interpret it. Don't go, no, please go. It's like, oh, you can make up your goddamn mind, bitch.
Shut up, just shut up. Don't go now, please go. I don't know.
So lame. It's so obvious. Like, do something interesting. That's all I want. That's all I want is just for something interesting.
Shut up, just shut up.
Who's this? You look so serious. This is totally like a Tim and Eric set. This is so insane. Oh my god. What the fuck was that?
Stop the talking, baby. I start walking, baby.
The shopping cart. This is the lamest dance move. I'm like, who choreographed this? This is like some of the worst choreography I've ever seen for like a music video where they're like dancing, where they're like pretending like they had choreography in it, right?
Walking, baby. Talking, baby. I start
And she's still grabbing her penis.
walking, baby.
Vagina.
Talking, baby.
Remember when I forgot the word wife? I'm not living in a heteronormative reality.
Start walking, baby.
Yeah, bussy, that's what I meant.
Stop talking, baby. Start walking, baby.
I'm going to turn... with the lyrics, it's essentially, stop the talking or else I'm going to turn 360 degrees and then walk away.
Start walking, baby.
That's exactly what he did.
Stop talking, baby. Start walking, baby.
You had 4.5 minutes to, like, do something interesting.
Stop yapping,
What are you doing? This is the lamest... What is this dance? This is like... am I supposed to be impressed by any of this? Look at this. Whoa! It literally feels like a Tim and Eric set where they're just like just doing random shit, and they'll figure it out in the editing room. Like, what are you? What was your point in the song? Who are you? Are you Jiminy Cricket? His will.i.am's expressions are so insane. Ah! Giving the crazy eyes. Yay! What happened? What happened between these two people?
Is that all there is? Is that all there is?
They made hits. They made hits. That's what they did. Boo. Boo. Boo earns. I'm not gonna throw up. Don't worry. I was just teasing it a little. All right. So just to finish that off.
Fuck what I said, it don't mean shit now. Fuck the presents, might as well throw 'em now. Fuck all those kisses, it didn't mean jack. Fuck you, you hope.
Very cheesy. Completely, he looks like a fuckboy. But you feel something. You feel something like... You feel like this guy might be like upset for some reason, you know?
Don't want you back.
Rather than I was asked by my teacher to make an assignment in grade 12 about people arguing. You don't? Okay, well, you don't.
Me, you play.
Maybe it would work better without showing his face. Maybe it would work better without showing his face. Maybe if we did this. I guess his face is still there. He looks like too much of a fuckboy. Is that why?
Don't want you back. You play.
I like that in the lyrics of this track, and this is not, I'm not holding this up as some masterpiece. This is definitely like a lot of like nostalgia for me, because I remember hearing this on the radio and there was like an interesting tidbit that I'll explain in a bit also.
Me. You even gave them head, now you're asking for me back.
Like he's at least being descriptive. Sure, it's not like he's talking about she gave him head, right? Like it's not like a what do I call it? It's like a trashy sequence of events, but it doesn't need to be like... What I'm saying is you can still have a song that feels like someone is saying something from their heart without it being like a Gotye song, without it being anything like necessarily complex.
You're just another hack. Look elsewhere, 'cause you're done with me.
I like that he's setting those boundaries. I like that he's like completely, whereas in the Black Eyed Peas song, it's like, go, maybe, I don't know. Like, it didn't even seem like the characters, without explaining what their specific issue was, it didn't even seem like they had any strong feelings about anything. Other than just like, shut up, I don't know, stop talking, I'm gonna keep talking the whole song anyway.
Fuck what I said, it don't mean shit now. Fuck the presents, might as well throw 'em out. Fuck all those kisses.
Like, every single measure, you know, fuck, right? And it's directed at her. It's like they're like bullets, you know? It's like, fuck. Like, you can feel that he's upset about something. I don't know if this guy even fucking wrote the song. All I'm saying is that it works for me.
Didn't mean jack. Fuck you, you hope. I don't want you back. Fuck what I said, it don't mean shit now. Fuck the presents.
Like, it feels like the guy went through some shit. It feels like it when I hear the song. Even though he looks like a fuckboy, even though he's a one-hit wonder, you know what's really interesting about this song that I can't play any bit of the song without explaining this part. What was her name called? Yeah, it was Frankie. Okay, so with that song, with that being a one-hit wonder, I guess they like capitalized the fuck out of it. And at the same time on the radio, once that started becoming a hit, they recorded like a remix version of another girl pretending to be like the other side of the story. And this is like kind of shit. I don't like it. But it was kind of an interesting marketing ploy that they did.
You should analyze let the bodies hit the floor by drowning pool.
Later, thank you. So they played this, and because, you know, this was released at a time people didn't really have the internet commonly, and you could just trick people into believing things marketing-wise. Like, the Blair Witch Project released in, like, what, 99? 90, was it 97? 99? The Blair Witch Project released in the late 90s, and there were a lot of people, maybe even most people who watched the movie, who thought that it was a real thing, who thought that it was real found footage of people who really got lost in the woods and got like maybe killed by a witch, but we don't know, right? So what the fucking geniuses, the marketing department behind whoever released the original track, they were like, what if we release a remix and we pretend it's from someone else? We create this new artist called Frankie. I don't know if they were an artist before. Whatever the fuck was going on. We say Frankie is who he was talking about. And she's like, actually, you're full of shit. The remix sounds like shit. I hate how it sounds, but
No, no. You know there are two sides to every story. See, I don't.
and then she just shits on him too. I think it's not a good track, but it was very interesting. It was very interesting that was on the radio.
Know why you're crying like a bitch.
So now all the women are like, yeah, right?
Talking shit like a snitch. Why you?
And so the average person in early 2000s or whatever hearing this on the radio was kind of like, they didn't know that it was like a fake artist or a fake like pretend response song. So it sounded like people were like fucking beefing with each other over essentially the same track on the radio. And so both of these tracks, they were able to like double their income basically.
Write a song about me if you really didn't care.
The average person didn't have any understanding of like legal, you know, like just being able to like take a track like that. Maybe you could argue fair use. I don't fucking think so. It sounds like it's trying to communicate the exact same thing. You would have a very difficult time in court trying to prove that, especially, you know, with large record labels. That could be an argument, but like I'm very forgiving when it comes to fair use. I don't know if I would argue this. So obviously it's made by people that own the rights to the track.
Wouldn't wanna share, telling everybody just
Her voice sucks. Her voice is fucking garbage.
how you feel. Fuck what I did was your fault somehow.
Was your fault somehow. The lyrics are so much worse too. Like, your fault somehow. You don't even know how it's his fault. What are you talking about? But yeah, they made a second track on the radio. That's kind of funny.
Fuck the presents, I threw all that shit out.
That's what he said, basically. You're just kind of rephrasing that. You're not even being original.
Fuck all the crying, it didn't mean jack. Well, guess what, yo? Fuck you right back.
Well, guess what, yo? Fuck you right back. Yeah, the song's kind of garbage, but it was worth mentioning if I'm going to talk about fucking Eamon, Don't Want You Back. Yeah. So, you know, not like fucking, you know, not like masterpiece or anything, but compared to like Black Eyed Peas, Shut Up, Just Shut Up, when it's like listening to it, it's clear that they're trying to make like we're people in relationships that don't like each other anymore. It's like, fuck, like, just knowing that other things exist that do it so much better is just so embarrassing.
Let's get retarded.
Look at how they spelled it with a W.
And the bass keeps running, running, and 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 running, running. In this context, there's no disrespect.
See, that's a very important lyric, and that's why it came at the very beginning, is because will.i.am is like, okay, we're gonna say the R word. In this context, there's no disrespect. But what's funny is that when they eventually, so this is not like a mashup. This is the original song by the Black Eyed Peas. This was how they phrased it. This was what was on the radio for a bit until they were like, I guess not. But they kept the lyric, in this context, there's no disrespect. So what do you mean by that in the new context of the song if you're going to say, let's get it started? Do you mean in this context, there's no disrespect by saying, let's get it started? Are you preemptively trying not to upset the It Started community, is what you're saying?
So when I bust my rhyme, you break your neck.
What?
We got 5 minutes for us to disconnect from all intellect and let the rhythm affect us to lose our inhibition. Follow your intuition, free your inner soul and break away from tradition. Cause when we be out, girl, it's pulling me out. You wouldn't believe how we wow shit out.
This is an interesting music video for the time.
Burn it till it's burned out, turn it till it's turned out. Act up from northwest, east side.
It doesn't look great, but
Everybody, everybody, let's get into it. Get stupid, get retarded, get retarded, get retarded. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded in here. Let's get retarded.
I think they cropped a lot out of the frame, whoever uploaded this, probably to avoid content ID or something.
Let's get retarded in here. Let's get
So that's why it looks so weird.
retarded.
All right, let's check out the other one.
In here.
Oh my god. This is such a I don't watch like pop music videos anymore. My tastes are not the mainstream, I guess. Maybe I'll watch like a Little Nas X thing every once in a while. But like the fact that a gadget had to be shown in every single one of these fucking videos, like this is kind of a nostalgic thing for me. Even though it's probably still happening every single fucking major label music video right now. Like the reason why the fucking iPod sold, one of the big reasons why the fucking iPod sold is because he had shit like this. Like, you always have to include a gadget. You always have to include a gadget. Now, well, I say now, but I really mean 10 years ago. Like, you got Beats, you know, like, what phone is this? Like, they fund the music video. The gadget funds the music video. Isn't that crazy? E398, is that a Sony phone? I don't even know what that is.
Let's get it started in here.
It sounds so much worse in terms of how she's singing, but it's funny that they did this.
And the bass. 5 minutes for us to get up from. Let's get it started in here. Let's
Yeah, it was crap, wasn't it?
Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Don't get
Yeah. Cowards. Cowards. That was not will.i.am's phone he invented. This was a different time. Well, here's the thing. Even when approaching music, even when I was talking about those music videos and those songs, right? I'm still approaching it from the same general perspective that I feel like I do for my films. I feel like Anthony Fantano, I haven't seen every single one of his videos. I haven't seen every single one of his reviews. But the impression that I get is that he's like very, very focused on like production elements to the song. Whereas like I didn't really delve into like the production elements or like the soundscape or like the mixing in those tracks, right? I reviewed it still from my perspective of like the things that matter most to me in the art that I consume. So, yeah. I don't know. That's the beauty of having different perspectives. Different people value different things. What rating do I give Let's Get Renegade? I don't know. Gotye's fucking awesome. The fact that people like just check out his other music. Just listen to another song. He makes great fucking music.
Pick apart the pieces of your heart.
I'm trying to think of like an equivalent to calling Gotye a one-hit wonder. So yeah, this should still be in the video, Olivia. Include this in the whole music thing. I'm trying to think of an equivalent, a film equivalent to calling Gotye a one-hit wonder. Like in terms of like sure, like technically, that's like saying Harmony Korine only made Spring Breakers and nobody knows what other fucking movie he made. It's like, sure, yeah, that's his most successful one. But like, that's not who he is as an artist. It's not just that one film. Like, you don't even understand. To think that Harmony Korine is defined by Spring Breakers, like, and not have that perspective of the rest of his filmography is most people's impression of Gotye for me, you know? State of the Art's fucking awesome. Hanky Chan and Amour, I would argue, is less of a comparison because with that is a bit more reflective of his overall filmography. He makes movies very consistently, whereas I feel like Gotye's songs, like there's so much variety when it comes to his music that the fact that people only listen to somebody I used to know, like they don't even understand what his music sounds like, you know, what his discography sounds like. You don't get an impression of that by just listening to the one song.
Let me peer
This is a dope track.
Let me in where only your thoughts have been. Let me occupy your mind as you do mine.
Interesting. I love Gotye has really well produced songs too. I love what's happening musically. Like how everything just fucking vibes together. All the different sounds. Oh. Your heart's a mess.
You won't
Get to it.
It makes no sense, but I'm desperate to connect. You can't live like this.
His that I love how he sounds when he's doing those like high-ish powerful notes that he does. When he says connect. Wait.
Desperate to connect.
There's like a little bit of like vocal fray. So you can tell he's like pushing it, you know, like he's like really getting it out there. He's not like singing. It's not like reserved.
Sense, but I'm desperate to connect.
Yeah. So like the imperfections make it better in a way. I feel that way about a lot of music in particular. Damn, why doesn't I want Gotye to release more shit? What the fuck? 7 months ago, they released Songbird, a tribute to Christine McVie. I don't know who that is. I'm not going to listen to this on stream because I want to listen to the whole thing, but I'll leave this tab open. I'll leave that tab open, and I will listen to that later because I didn't know Gotye released anything in the past fucking year. That's for sure. But that's exciting. I'll listen to that later.
Thanks for watching. Here's the patron list for June 2023. Andres Avila, Easy Game 69, Nico Fuentes, Joel999, Wrigglemoss, Speak of the Joker, No Rope, T King, Salve88, Trouble Man, Sammy Newton. Orange Juice Slurper has a tumor in her head the size of a peanut. Yup. Caden Mack, Charisma, the Super 1 player, Zachary Kane, Gillyflower, Mandel Bro, Purple Fire, Gabriel Herrera, Hoofy Dough, and Lemonade Warrior is participating in the hit game Among Us and is considered the encroacher. Happy Pride, everybody.